Okay, so now we're going to have a look at the bones in the skeleton, starting at the top with the skull, known medically as the cranium. The bottom part of the cranium forms the upper jaw, which is known as the maxilla. The lower jaw is known as the mandible. Obviously, these are very similar sounding words, maxilla and mandible, and one good way to remember which is that you dribble out of the mandible. If we turn the skeleton around to the back, we'll look at the bones of the spine. 24 bones in all, and these bones are called vertebrae. The top 7 vertebrae in the neck are known as cervical vertebrae. Because cervical begins with a C, they're known as C1, C2, all the way through to C7. The next 12 vertebrae are known as the thoracic vertebrae, and we would know them as T1 all the way through to T12. A pair of ribs comes out from each one of these thoracic vertebrae and goes round to the front to act as an armour for the heart and lungs. If we turn the skeleton round back to the front, we can see the lumbar vertebrae. There are 5 bones in the bottom part of the lumbar vertebrae, known as L1, L2, L3, L4 and L5. Those are all vertebrae are separated by a disc. If we have a look at the back again, you can see the rest of the spine. These bones are all fused together and are known as the sacrum. It looks a little bit like the bottom of an iron. The remaining 5 bones are all also fused together to form the coccyx, which is our old tailbone throwback from evolution that we don't need anymore. If we go back up the skeleton to the shoulder blade, the scapula. This is the bone that actually holds the arms onto the skeleton. If we move to the front, we see the collarbone, the clavicle. People confuse these all the time, the clavicle and the shoulder blade. A good way to remember, clavicle and collarbone both begin with C, shoulder blade and scapula both begin with an S. Moving down to the sternum, the breastbone. This is the bone where the ribs are attached. The top 7 pairs of ribs attached to the breastbone with this cartilage, this blue area here. The next 4 pairs of ribs are actually attached to the rib above it, also with cartilage. And then we have 1 pair of floating ribs, also a throwback from evolution and no longer any use to us at all. Moving into the upper arm, we have the humerus, the funny bone. But very careful how this is spelt. It's not humerus as in funny, it's Humerus. Moving down to the 2 bones in the lower arm, the outer bone is the radius, the inner bone the ulna. If I move him down a little, we can see the bones in the hand. Moving to the bones in the wrist, known as carpals. There are 8 little bones in the wrist, but we know them collectively just as carpal bones. The bones moving from the wrist to the top of the hand are metacarpals, as meta means beyond. And then we have the bones in the fingers, 14 bones in the fingers, 3 in each of the main fingers and 2 in the thumb. Moving over to the pelvis, which of course is the hip. As we move down into the thigh bone, this is the femur, the longest, strongest, heaviest bone in the body. Beyond the femur, we'll find the patella, the kneecap. It's a very common exam question, so make sure you know the patella is the kneecap. As I move the skeleton a little bit further down to the lower limbs, the bone in the front is known as the tibia, the shin bone, the bone at the back, the fibula, the calf bone. Collectively they're sometimes called tib and fib, but their endings are different. The spellings are completely different at the end. Moving to the bones in the feet, the ankle bones are known as tarsals. And just like the bones in the hands, we have metatarsals. Where we had metacarpals in the hand, we have metatarsals at the top of the feet. And finally, the bones in the toes, exactly the same as the bones in the hand. In the fingers, we have 14 bones in each of the 4 toes and the main big toe.